All right, here with James MacDonald at the 2023 Pepsi North America Cup post-position draw. James, you drove two horses into the final on Saturday night. Moment is Here and Redwood Hanover. How do you think they raced, and did anything surprise you from those two performances on Saturday?
No, I wouldn't say surprised. I mean, they're both coming into the race really good, in really good form. Moment is Here won in 149 2 weeks prior, and then he got roughed up pretty good in the Sun Beach, but hung tough to be second. So I was expecting a good effort from him, and he gave it to me. Also, Redwood Hanover, he won the Sun Beach somewhere in 149, came flying to beat Fulton. So I was really happy with his effort there, and then drew the dreaded 9-hole in a really, really tough division where you got to be top two. So he had to do a lot of work. He left hard first up, but hung tough to be third. So I was really proud of his effort, and I think he drew the 8-hole. But I think if all goes right, he could have they both could do some damage in there.
You're Canada's reigning driver of the year for 2 years now, and you're the leading driver at Woodbine Mohawk Park again this year. But not even you can drive two horses in the final. So tell us who you went with and what went into that decision.
It was a really tough decision. It's probably the hardest part of the game is letting someone down, because they're both great horses. So you have to tell someone that has a great horse that you want to drive another one, and it's hard to do. And I was really dreading it. I was praying one of them would get in, and then when both got in, I was like, well, I wish one of them had to get in. But no, it's great for the connection. It's great for Ontario racing to see Tony Beaton and Robert McIntosh in the race. Fortunately, I got to drive both, and I think I'm going with Redwood Hanover. I'm just kind of going with my gut. I love the way he raced in the Sun Beach. I was really proud of how he raced in the NA Cup of Lim, and it was a tough decision. I just 100% went with my gut. I talked to a few people I trusted about racing. Obviously, Paige, I talked to her. I talked to a few other people, and actually probably I talked to Jody Jameson, someone that's won the race a few times. I asked him to be impartial, and he said go with your gut, trust your first instinct. He said when they heard they were first in, what horse did you think of? And I thought it was great advice. I'm not saying I took the right one. Obviously, I hope Moment is Here wins if I don't. So time will tell, but. Unfortunately, it's a tough decision, but like I said, I just trusted my gut and went with that.
Do you feel that because there were 4 elimination winners, it makes your horse more of a dark horse and that he's able to fly under the radar a bit more?
Absolutely. I mean, he's not going to get a lot of public support, I don't think, because they're going to look and just see, he's third place finisher. But I think when you look back, see the way he raced in the Sun Beach somewhere, he left in 25-3, was parked, cleared, let one go, and then finished in 26-2. Like to do that it's pretty special, and he beat some really nice horses that day, and you just got to take everything into consideration. That being said, he went to war already last week to get in the final. You never know how they bounce back after that. Some aren't quite as good, and some are even better. So hopefully he's the latter.
What is his biggest asset, and how do you think that strength will factor into this race, given how you think it might shape up?
I think his biggest asset is just his will to be a nice horse. He's a very green horse for the amount of starts he's had. He still doesn't really know what he's doing. I remember when I qualified him back this year, I told a few people, Jody and a few others, that I hope this horse is like my NA Cup horse. Like I qualified him, or I raced him in the Breeders' Crown, a limb, and I was locked in really bad, and he had a lot of pace. So I was kind of confident going into this year, and then I qualified him in like 56 and change. He was beat like 12, and I was like, oh, and they were like, oh, you're crazy. But come back the next week, qualified, I think in 53, home in 26 was better, and then every start it just got better and better and better and better, and then he's just kind of peaking, but I think his biggest quality is probably just his will to be a nice horse.
And what would it mean to you to be in the winner's circle over there on Saturday night, holding up that prestigious North America Cup trophy?
It would mean everything to me. I mean, it's the biggest race in Canada. It's one of the biggest races in North America. And being a hometown driver at Mohawk, it's everything. I mean, I think you'd see a huge crowd for the card, but you'll see a huge crowd in the winter circle if I hopefully get there this week.
Before the NA Cup eliminations, you were making headlines in a different way as one of the featured participants in the Ontario Racing Unfiltered series. What can you tell us about that show, and can you give us a bit of a preview of what's to come?
Yeah, it's turned out really, really amazing. They've done just a terrific job putting it together. Really proud of how it looked. So we've had a lot of good feedback, and they've been following us around for a while, like kind of like how they did Full Swing or the Formula One series. And like at first we didn't really know what to expect, but the feedback's been terrific. Going forward, I think I think episode 2 is on thoroughbreds. Episode 3, I believe, a sneak peek would be. I think they followed us to London for the Molson Pace. After that, I'm not sure exactly what direction they're going. I know NA Cup will be probably. I'm not sure if it's the last episode or the feature episode, but so hopefully they won't be mad at me for giving away storylines. But I think that's the direction they're heading. So if you're following and you like the show, then tune in.
In addition to your North America Cup drive, you have a number of talented horses lined up for the undercard. Can you discuss some of those stakes and invitational starters with us heading into Saturday?
Yeah, probably some of the top stakes and invitational starters I have would be just a really star-studded lineup. I have Adair Castle in the Arrow Flight. I have Redwood Hanover, I believe, is going to be in the Mohawk Gold Cup. My own horse, Paige and I's own horse, Hasty Bids, is in the final of Good Times, so that's pretty exciting. We're really looking forward to that. So much more, and the roses are red, so it's going to be a busy night and hopefully a really productive night.
Looking at Saturday's card, how much does a card like this help you get up in the morning? Not that you don't love racing in general, but when you have that kind of lineup on Canada's biggest night, how stoked and jazzed are you for a night like that where you have those kind of horses about you?
Oh, it's just fun. It's always fun to drive a great horse, and I've been really blessed that I drive a lot of them. I drive just one after another, especially Saturday night. So it's not going to change the way I get out of bed because it's still business as usual. You got to find a way to get those great horses. Yeah, I have a really fun, great lineup, but they're all in really tough with other great horses. So it's just try and find a way to beat the other guys, and that's the goal on Saturday. And as long as they give me a good effort and do their best, and I do my best and try and get them in good spots, I'll be pretty happy when I go home.
And you've been doing a pretty good job of beating the other guys. So congratulations on the success you've had. Thank you very much for taking the time, and all the best of luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.